Welcome, everybody, to the Autonomy Unlimited AI Tools of the Week. The podcast is bringing you the latest AI tools and tech in a way that's easy to understand for everybody. Whether you're new to AI, simply curious, or against, our show's here to provide insights and tips on how to leverage AI and enhance your daily life. From business to podcasting to education, AI is here and it's transforming the way that we are working, living, and interacting with the world around us. So I hope you join us each week. This is supposed to be just a fast-paced podcast for you to kind of be able to see some cool tools and hear some cool things. News-wise, one of the biggest things that was shared this week was Apple announced its upcoming release of. They didn't use the word AI, which was pretty fascinating in their whole show, but they used a lot of machine learning, and everything that they're rolling out has machine learning in it, which is the same thing. But they were showcasing these new VR goggles that are going to be coming out next year, and it's pretty wild. I have a hard stance against VR, that I personally am not going to be using VR just because I don't want to be enticed into that world, because it's here. These new VR goggles are like this big, but basically creates window screens for computers like around your desk. So you could literally have a 360 computer screens all around you. Everything is like touched, interacting, so you can then get your work done by just these goggles and using your fingers like this. You can watch movies and like pull the screen all the way up right next to your freaking eyeballs. It's pretty wild to see it in action. But again, I've made a stand against VR, that I'm never going to do that because I know how enticing the technology is going to get. We have autonomy students hanging out with us today, and I have a few tools to blast through. I'd love to hear from the people on the call. If you have any feedback or anything you want to contribute to, or questions about these tech that I'm going to be blasting through, I'd love to hear from you. And hopefully we'll hear from Leiha later in the show to continue the ongoing dialogue on the ethics of AI. First thing I want to showcase is a service called Command Bar. And it looks like things are getting really simplified and well put together in order to create ChatGPT chatbots for any site. And so I've shown some of this from before. I think this looks like one of the best services, but essentially you feed it your website and you feed it, your business documents, and it creates a chatbot to be able to then answer questions about your website. So we've all seen chatbots on sites before, and now it's just becoming really simple to set these things up to enhance people's experience when they come to their site. So they can answer questions. It's not just previously with chatbots, right? You'd ask a question, and unless it knew exactly that answer, it was just kind of dumb, right? And would kind of send you around in circles. But now it's got actual ChatGPT to it, and it can, using the data set that it was trained off of, invent conversation to help people find and navigate the information on your site, or how to set up a consultation call. So pretty cool and fascinating to see this made available to entrepreneurs and business owners. So I'm excited to test this out with Autonomy. I was testing out another one, and it was a little clunky, but essentially it was designed to be a salesperson to help people move along your buyer's journey. So I look forward to playing around with this one. And Dante AI is another one that I had bookmarked. Zero coding, share on your website in minutes. So as I said, these things are getting to be really quick and easy to set up for your average Joe to be able to use these things. And I think it's going to be actually helpful. Stephanie was on last week, I think, and talked about she interacted with a chatbot and like it was an enjoyable experience. It brought her value. It moved her along and was able to be helpful. So I think there's going to be a growing trend where we're going to be seeing these things pop up everywhere. And instead of, the last 5 years of chatbots, as I said, not being very helpful, this can actually create a more enjoyable experience. Feedback, questions on that? Next thing I got is stockimage.ai, stockimg.ai. This is a unique image generator because it has kind of distinct functions for creating for what to create images with. You can specifically pick book cover, wallpaper, posters, logos, right? Illustrations. And let's see. It's gonna load me in. Cool. So it basically have this ability to change the size, change everything. It's very hands-on way of being able to create exactly what you're looking for. As a logo, here's your prompt to be able to do this. I put a dog walking service logo. See what it does with that. I already ate all my credits. So obviously, as you see, this is a paid program. It did give me 1 credit to play with. And when I punched in dog walking logo, this is what it came up with. Cute, good looking, sharp, iconic. So this could be a good option for somebody that is looking for a very simple way to be able to create, images. It is paid and wow. There's a lot of free versions out there. So we'll see how long this business model sticks around. Next up, Magic Slides. I just came across this. I haven't had time to play with it, but this looks very helpful because it's using Google Slides as the framework. And so you're able to then, bring in your text and create stunning presentations in, few moments. This last week, my sister hit me up and she said, Joshua, I was asked to present to a group of real estate agents. I've never, done this before. Can you help me out? And I rose to the challenge to help out my little sister. But essentially, she had been invited onto a podcast before, so she spoke for like 45 minutes to someone that was interviewing her, and she basically said, everything I want to present was in that podcast. So I was able to then go to YouTube, grab the transcript, take that transcript, bring it over to ChatGPT, isolate her section, and then say, turn this information into a slideshow with bullet points, and was able to pull that off quite specifically. And so from there, we did hire a graphic designer, Elise, on the Autonomy Unlimited team. Let me see if I can pull it up in time. Here it is. Yeah. So she took, what ChatGPT was able to do in a couple minutes, and then was able to create this slideshow so that my sister, which she's presenting here in just a couple minutes, she loved the design. She loved the information was accurate. It was, basically saying exactly what she went through for her podcast. And so taking this, what could have taken 6 hours, easy. And that's if you know what you're doing, to be able to create some good looking presentations. And this software right here, like I said, this is just automatically puts it into Google Slides for you to be able to go from there. Now, I do know Google Slides is about to get a whole AI update, so this tech might become obsolescent or obsolete as Google, absorbs the ideas and tech of the world and integrates it into their own systems. So right now, as you can see,
we're not tracking your screen.
And so right now, oh, you didn't see the slideshow at all?
On point. Great.
Dang. So this was my sister's slideshow. As you can see, good design, and she felt comforted knowing that she had a framework to be able to just speak through. Next up, yeah, going back to this, Google's going to absorb this tech most likely. Right now, it's an extension, but for now, it's useful, and it can, if you have a presentation that needs to be done, check it out. All right, this one I thought was very controversial. So this is AI that's personally yours. Supercharge your memory and relationships with your own personal AI messenger. So what this is actually, doing is inserting itself between you and all your communications and like all your data. What it's offering, the benefit is, supercharge your memory, remember everything, and connect anywhere with people and your ideas all around the world. So it basically wants to record and digest all your communications, all your personal information, so that you can then recall it at any time. You can ask ChatGPT, like you can ask the AI, oh, what was, when was the last time I met this person and what was it about? And it will be very accurate and being able to do these things, but also, it is recording everything that you do in a very, very detailed and personal way, as well as you can essentially, I think it gives you suggestions on how to respond to your communications, right? So if somebody hits you up on Messenger, it then can answer for it. It studies your voice, mimics your voice, and can answer for you. And if any of you guys saw the South Park on ChatGPT, this is the tech that is going to, be made easy enough for the general public to adopt and use. And the benefits are really enticing, right? Having something memorize every piece of data you've ever, created, and then making communications fast and efficient, but really not you anymore. So what problems might arise? I'm asking everybody right now. What problems might arise from unleashing this tech into the world?
Hi, Joshua.
Hey, Carlos.
Maybe what comes to mind is maybe AI responds in a manner that you're not in agreement with.
Yeah. And like, how would you feel if you found out that, for the last 3 months, you haven't actually been talking to your aunt? You've been talking to your aunt's AI, right? And
Right, yeah.
how does that affect your relationship?
Right. No, yeah, that's completely valid. I agree with that as well.
Yeah. So, I think it spells the destruction of, even worse connection, jumping on top of what social media has already done to the world, right? To where people are just going to end up in their own echo chambers, speaking to bots, having their bots speak to bots, right? And then saying and claiming that as real communication and connection and feeling connected around the world, right? Throw on VR glasses on top of that, right? And that's not the world that I want to participate in. Anybody else have any comments or concerns about this?
Well, it will be.
Go ahead, Dave.
Oh, okay. I'll just be brief if that's possible. It will be impossible to tell the difference between what is truth and what isn't more than it is so now. So that's what I.
Yeah, and I just tend to believe that this is probably, already out there in the social media for the, the influentials, and obviously it just demonstrates that the technology is there. So
Yeah,
very interesting and obviously very potentially dangerous.
yeah. I've seen big influencers that have millions of followers on like Instagram or whatever, and their message feed is like going right. Their comments on their posts are going like it's impossible to even like pull even one of those comments out. But, using this tech, right? Are they going to artificially be able to create relationships with all those people that are talking, and you get to actually talk to Taylor Swift, but it's really her app? Who's not going to jump on capitalizing on that that potential of building on those relationships in order to sell them something, right? So, I mean, this service is already here. So, like, this is the environment that we're now living in. All right. So, checking out a couple other cool things. This one I just came across. I haven't had a time to play with it yet. Create AI videos just from text. This is called elai.io is the website. This looks very promising. Well, again, controversial, but check this out. Let me know if you can hear it.
Welcome to LA. Have you ever imagined being able to create amazing videos with real people? Now with the help of AI, you can create engaging videos with the real presenters in minutes just from text. Say goodbye to costly studios, equipment, and real actors. Just follow these 3 steps. Choose a presenter from the library, add some text and visuals for slides, and here we go.
Hey, my name is Cody, and I am your digital video presenter.
You can also create videos by simply leaving a link to your blog or website using our Generate from Text feature, and here is your result. Videos that don't get many views or engagement need to be promoted in different ways, such as through social network postings or email campaigns. Moreover, you can create your personal avatar and use it in hundreds of videos in more than 65 languages. This is how your CEO can speak multiple languages.
I can now speak Spanish
Buenos días.
and can say hello to all my French customers.
Bonjour.
Interested? Sign up and try it for free now. Bye-bye from LA.
It looks, suspicious right now, but another 6 months, another year down the road, the advancements that video games are making right now is unbelievable, to where we're right on the threshold of not really being able to not the average person is going to be able to know the difference between what they're looking at and who they're talking to. So that service is available right now. I'd play with it. I might try it out for a business, creating an ad for a business or something right now. But very soon it's going to be indistinguishable between real actors. And anybody have any comments on this?
I thought it was especially creepy that they used my name as one of the examples.
Yes, Cody.
Yeah, and that definitely unnerved me a little bit more than just the usual, ooh, something's not quite right.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is fascinating to see this technology getting better and better.
And I don't have a sample of this, but in the gaming world, I think it was somebody just launched or a demo of a game, and you, as the character in the game, you like walk up to the bar and you sit down and you actually talk to the bartender and say, hey, what's happening? Oh, there's been a bunch of crime happening in this area. And oh, really? Who do you think's behind that? And the bartender is going to be basically using ChatGPT to, in real time, respond to your questions and give you a unique journey through this video game landscape, that your friends are going to have different experiences, and all these NPCs are going to be able to then, in real time interact and talk to you. So
It's pretty much going to be VR chat on steroids.
Yeah, man. So like that's like rolling out, I think, later this year of that capability. Right now there's like a half-second delay as in the processing time, but that's going to quickly go away. And so wild times that we're living in. Anybody else have anything they'd like to talk about or share before we wrap up?
It might be an interesting conversation around the authenticity that we're discussing in the autonomy community now, and it's might be encroaching on really connecting conversations when we get into chat bots and these kind of things. Maybe people will disconnect. We'll have to see how it plays.
Yeah, I've seen some comments on like the ability for it to be empathetic. And one person's comment was, I asked it to be my therapist and I got a lot more value out of it than I do my real therapist. And so, the capabilities seem very promising in that regard, but also, yeah, once it knows how to manipulate, our emotions by, selecting the correct empathetic response to everything, yeah, it becomes very powerful.
Hi, Joshua. Hi.
Oh, hi, Leah.
Hi, how are you?
What you got for us today?
Okay. So previously I was talking about the existential threat of AI and how, in my opinion, the existential threat is essentially to government and the powers that be, because people can use AI to advance freedom, to advance technology and free energy. And that's definitely something that they don't want to happen. So in the mainstream media, you can see some examples of them trying to implement regulation. And through the mainstream media, you can also see the social engineering, the mind control, and what I'm going to term and coin the term Illuminati pipelines and funnels. So right now they're going through this whole narrative that, AI is scary and, they have to start to control AI. And they're talking, this is from last week. Some of these articles are from last week, and I want to show you how targeted they are with their information, these pipelines and funnels they're pulling you down. So from last week, they said with the presidential election, we may have a recipe for disaster. We have no idea what AI can do. I thought I might have been an AI, which I think is really hysterical, because here we are this week. And what happened? Now the story is how DeSantis had this AI image of Trump hugging Fauci to manipulate the election. So, it was no coincidence that was the headline the previous week. They pulled you down that funnel, and they want you to click at the voting box and accept that offer. But the narrative that AI is dangerous and needs regulation is, across the boards in the mainstream media, social engineering. And here you can see this one. Okay, this is the New York Times, but I don't have a subscription. I can't get into it. But if I take the headline and I put it into Google, the same headline is in the New York Times, the Washington Post, the Seattle Times on the same day. Okay, so did they all write the same exact article on the same day? Clearly not. This is the pipeline.
Yeah, the copy, you can see the subtext is different, but they're leaning on the same headlines.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So, this is the CIA Times and the CIA Post. This is not organic media, news interest stories. This is coordinated, weaponized media to control your mind and tell you what the narrative is. And when they come in with the regulations so that only big tech can use AI past, the quantum computer technology that it takes to run, ChatGPT-4, anything other than that, they want to control it. They don't want anybody to have that, because they want to be able to use it for their weapons technology. And, they don't want people to create freedom with it. Oh, here, look how scary we're going to become extinct, and, it's going to cause a pandemic and a nuclear war. And, oh, look at all the scientists that are signing up against it. They don't want to control it for the sake of humanity. They want to control it for the sake of their hegemony over it. And we can see the difference between OS any OS tools, it's the same hegemony here. Like they make and manufacture the products that they're embedding it into. So they're going to maintain that hegemony, and good luck to OS, creating anything on par with big tech. They haven't done it in any other program that exists now. And good luck doing it in, OS language models. Okay. So then let's see, same, they're trying to, say, oh, let's stop researching AI, as if that's going to stop the whole world. Like they think they're going to stop the whole world. They're not. They just don't want the regular person to have it, because you could come up with free energy. You could come up with, all of these really great things. And so that dovetails into this really good article where it takes a few of the points that you were just talking about and that I was bringing up previously, how it could do really great things. And it talks about how every child can have an AI tutor with all of these attributes, coaches and assistants, scientists, people, the productivity of people, the scientific breakthroughs, creative arts, warfare. Like, I don't know why they think this is actually a benefit to be able to kill less people during war, but this is a little misguided. But essentially they're saying that, there is this ability for AI to help humanity, and have all these nuances. And, maybe that personal assistant interface could be used not to respond as your aunt's bot, but to be able to help you with your workflow, help you with creating your, your things in life that you want to make happen. So there's all these benefits that could happen, as long as you are using
those in the New York Times.
What's that?
You're not seeing those in the New York Times.
No, that's correct. Yeah, exactly. So I just wanted to point out, and this builds upon my previous discussion about how existential threats from AI are to the powers that be, not to the people who are using it for good.
Thanks, Leiha. Thanks. It's a very important conversation to be having and to be showing the difference of what's being pumped out there, what's reality, what's our potential, right? Last thing I want to do is highlight something that I did with ChatGPT. I just released my full trip to Exit and Build 3. I used ChatGPT to create a story arc to film my journey there and to help them with the tech, put on the conference, and to DJ. And so this is now up on my YouTube. I'll link it down below. It's 53 minutes long, a 5-day adventure, going to a freedom movement event and actually seeing behind the scenes what it's like, the culture there, what we're doing, what we're achieving, and, really meeting the people from a behind the scenes point of view. I highly recommend checking it out. I had a lot of fun filming it, and I'm planning to do the same thing going to PorcFest next week, creating this, real story to be able to film and capture, boots on the ground experience. Well, thanks everybody. We're out of time. Leiha, thank you so much for adding, a deeper philosophy to the conversation. We're going to link all these clips and tools in the section below. And I hope that you join us next week after you hit the subscribe button and give us a like so that, more people actually see these things. And we look forward to catching you next week.